Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to take a journey, a deep dive into the transformer. This is the revolutionary architecture that is, quite literally, powering models like ChatGPT. We are going to follow a single word as it gets transformed from just plain old text into a rich, context-aware vector, and in the process, unlock the secrets of modern AI.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. Before transformers came along, AI language models, things like RNNs, had to read a sentence one single word at a time. And as you can imagine, that created this massive bottleneck. It was like a game of telephone. Information from the start of a long sentence could get totally garbled by the time the model got to the end. But transformers, they changed everything. They process every single word at the exact same time, letting every word talk to every other word all at once. It's a total game changer.
And it all started in 2017 with a research paper that had this incredibly bold title. It introduced the transformer, and it proposed this radical new idea. Just forget the slow, sequential stuff. The real key to understanding language is this mechanism called attention, and you can build a whole, incredibly powerful architecture around nothing but that.
So, what was the actual problem with that one-word-at-a-time approach? I mean, why was it such a big deal? Let's get really specific about the bottlenecks that the transformer was designed to just completely smash through.
Well, these older models had three major headaches. First, there's a nasty math problem called vanishing gradients. It basically meant learning the connection between the first word and the last word in a long paragraph was pretty much impossible. The signal just got weaker and weaker. Second, they couldn't take advantage of modern parallel processors like GPUs, which just made them painfully slow. And finally, the path that information had to travel was super long and winding, and its meaning just got diluted along the way.
All right, so now let's follow a single word as it starts its journey into the transformer. We're going to start with how simple text gets turned into a language the machine can actually understand and work with.
The whole process kicks off with two main steps. First up is tokenization. That's where the sentence gets broken down into words or even subwords, called tokens. Then comes the real magic, embedding. Each of those tokens is converted into a high-dimensional vector, basically a long list of numbers. But this isn't just some random ID. It's a rich numerical fingerprint. In this vast mathematical space, words with similar meanings are actually located close to each other. But wait a minute. This brings up a huge, glaring problem. If you process all the words in parallel, the sentence, "the dog chased the cat," and "the cat chased the dog" would look exactly the same to the model, just a jumble of the same word vectors. The meaning is completely lost. So, how on earth do you solve that? The solution is just brilliantly simple. You add a second vector. This positional encoding vector doesn't care one bit about what the word means. Its only job is to describe its position in the sentence. It's like giving each word its own unique GPS coordinate. So by adding this to the word's meaning vector, the model gets two critical pieces of info for every token: what it is and where it is. Okay, our vector is now fully prepped. It's got its meaning, it's got its position. Now it enters the heart of the machine, the encoder block. This is the crucible where raw information gets forged into rich, meaningful context. Now, this is where things get really, really cool. For every single word, the model generates three new smaller vectors. You have a query, which is like the word asking a question, "What am I looking for?" Then you have a key, which is like a label on a filing cabinet, saying, "This is what I'm about." And finally, a value, which is the actual stuff, the content inside the file. Think of it like a YouTube search. Your query searches through all the other words' keys to find the best matches, and then it pulls in their values. This whole query key value system powers this three-step dance called self-attention. So, step one, for any given word, its query is compared to every other word's key to get a similarity score. Step two, all those scores are crunched down into probabilities. We call these attention weights. And finally, step three, a brand new context-aware vector is created for our word by mixing together all the other words' value vectors according to those attention weights. So in essence, every word is rebuilding itself using little pieces of every other word in the sentence. But it gets even better. The transformer is way more sophisticated. I mean, why rely on just one point of view when you can have a whole committee of experts? And that's exactly the idea behind multi-head attention. It runs this whole attention process many times in parallel, and each head basically becomes a specialist. One might focus on grammar, another might be great at figuring out who it refers to, and another is looking for synonyms. It's incredibly powerful.
Now, to make all of these complex layers work together, especially in a really deep network, you need a couple of other clever tricks. These are kind of like the architectural glue. First, you've got residual connections. Think of these as an information highway that lets the original untouched word vector just bypass all the heavy computation and get added back in at the end. It makes training really deep networks way easier. And then you have layer normalization, which is basically a stabilizer that keeps all the numbers from flying off the rails and getting too big or too small.
So that's the encoder. It's a master at understanding the input. But for a lot of tasks, like translation or summarization, you also have to generate an output. And that's the decoder's job. So how does it build a whole new sentence, word by word?
The decoder is also built from these attention blocks, but it's got a really clever twist. Its first job is to look at the output it's already generated. It performs self-attention on itself. But here's the key. To stop it from cheating during training, by just looking at the next word in the answer key, it uses what's called masked self-attention. This mask literally blocks its view of any future words, forcing it to make a prediction based only on what it's already written.
Okay, so after the decoder figures out what it's already written, it performs a second absolutely critical step called cross-attention. This is the bridge. It takes its current state as a query and uses it to look at the keys and values from the original input sentence, the one the encoder just processed. This is the moment where the decoder asks, okay, based on what I've written so far, what part of the original sentence is most important for me to look at right now to pick the very next word?
Let's just pull back for a second and really appreciate what a massive, monumental shift this architecture represents for AI. It's hard to overstate.
This table really says it all. I mean, look at the difference. We went from a sequential process that was super hard to parallelize and choked on long sentences to a fully parallel architecture that just eats long-range context for breakfast. But the most important change, the real killer feature, is that last row, max path length.
That O of 1 path length, that is the secret weapon. In an old RNN, for information to get from the first word to the last word, it had to travel through every single word in between. In a transformer, the path is direct. The attention mechanism creates a direct connection between every single word and every other word. The distance is always just one step. That is an unbelievably powerful concept for understanding context.
So really, the big takeaway here is that transformers fundamentally reframed the entire problem. The question was no longer, how do we remember what happened way back in the past? Instead, it became, how do we best relate all parts of the input to each other right now in this moment? It's a fundamental shift from memory to relationships.
And this basic circuit, this idea of turning data into vectors and using attention to find relationships, is the foundational building block of pretty much all of modern AI. It's already conquered language, it's conquered vision, and more. Its power to model complex relationships seems almost universal, which leaves us with one final and really exciting question to think about. What will these things learn to do next?